Good morning, good evening, friends. Welcome to my channel, Ek Kitab Se Ek Moti. Today I'm going to read from an online copy of the Gospel of Ramakrishna. The word gospel comes from a Greek word which means good news. So it means the good news that Ramakrishna Paramhans shared with humanity in the late 19th century. Later, it was published as a book. The Gospel of Ramakrishna is based on the notes and the diary that Mahendranath Gupta maintained. He has not used his name in the book. He just calls himself Mr. M. I'm talking about the author, Mahendranath Gupta, the person who maintained that diary. But in the Hindi edition, his name has been mentioned. So it says, Shri Ramakrishna Vachanamrita Prathama Bhag, Shri Mahendranath Gupta Shri M. So, but I think, as far as I remember, in the English version, his name appeared just as M. So he kind of concealed his identity. He hid his identity. He did not want to be popular because of this book. So, the author was one of the devotees of or followers of Ramakrishna Paramhans, and the Gospel of Ramakrishna consists of what he said, what he did. It's a record, a faithful record of what he did and said. When Mr. M, that is Mahendranath Gupta, spent quite a few years with him in his company. Now, I'll come to the portion that I've selected today, but just a few words about Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans. Most of us know about him. So he was the guru of Swami Vivekananda. He was a devotee of Mother Kali, and he was a priest at the Dakshineshwar Kali temple. So if you want to know more about him, just Google about him, just check the Wikipedia entries. But he was one of the great masters of India, spiritual masters of India, and he had a tremendous effect on the spiritual thinking pattern of Indians in the late 19th century, and then after that, his influence continued, especially through his world-famous disciple, Swami Vivekananda, Narendranath Gupta. Narendra was his... Narendranath Dutt. Narendra was the original name of Swami Vivekananda. So, I'll come to that portion that I've selected for today. So, I have this book in Hindi, Sri Ramakrishna Vachanamrita Volume 1. I have a smaller version of that, the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, because it's a huge book. I'm talking about the actual book that I have hard copy. So what I'm doing for this video is that I'm going to read from an online version that I have of the Gospel of Ramakrishna. I do plan to buy the English versions and also the Tamil versions, because maybe in a month or two I'll start making videos in Tamil as well. So my message reaches most of the parts of India, North India, and it reaches the entire India through English, and through Tamil it'll reach Tamil Nadu mainly, and it'll also reach people across the world wherever they know the Tamil language. So I'm working on my Tamil. I'm kind of refurbish my knowledge, brush up on my Tamil. So I'm just reading grammar, and I'm going through dictionaries, and I'm also going through the Tamil works of Swami Vivekananda, for example. I'll show you my preparation. So the reason I'm mentioning is just just be ready for watching my videos in Tamil as well. So here are my Tamil books on Swami Vivekananda. It's beautiful Tamil, and it's in 11 volumes, I think. So I have all the 11 volumes with me, so I'm kind of going through some passages and portions of these, so I'm going to make videos on these as well. And other than that, I have a lot of other Tamil books as well. So I have Tirukkural Parimel Alagar's Urai, that is commentary by Parimel Alagar. And then I have some more Tamil books, especially one of my favorite is this Yoga Sastiram Enum Srimad Bhagavad Gita. This is by Urai Vilakkam Magagavi Bharadiyar Narmada Padipagam. So this one is an excellent book, a short introduction to the Gita. I mean, his preface or introduction is amazing. It contains the essence of spirituality, and it's a tremendous book. So I'll be making some English and Hindi videos on these as well, plus a Tamil video on each of these. So now let me talk about this gospel. So in Hindi it comes in 2 volumes. This is the complete edition, so I have 2 volumes of these. So I'll be making a Hindi video using this, and in English it has been released in 2 volumes as well. I think you get a large mega size book as well, the Gospel of Ramakrishna Deluxe edition. I think you can check with the Ramakrishna Mission centers, bookshops in your city. For example, there is a bookshop here as well in Varanasi. In Chennai, I used to visit regularly the Ramakrishna Mission bookstall on the Ramakrishna R.K. Mutt Road. They have this Ramakrishna Mission, and they have 2 bookshops there. So you can visit that place as well if you're in Chennai, and you can find out from your city where you have these Ramakrishna Mission centers from where you can get these books. And usually they give a discount as well on these books. So now let me start reading today's section or today's lines or paragraphs. So today's video is on the redeeming power of faith. That is how it gives back the purity that we all have inside us, the power of faith plus the power of the name of the Lord. So let's read this. So a devotee, there is a follower of, there is a dialogue here. A devotee: Sir, is there no help then for such a worldly person? Master, that is Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa. There is a dialogue. So the master says, certainly there is. From time to time he should live in the company of holy men, and from time to time go into solitude to meditate on God. Furthermore, he should practice discrimination and pray to God. Furthermore, he should practice discrimination and pray to God. Give me faith and devotion. Give me faith and devotion. That is, you should practice discrimination and pray to God. Give me faith and devotion. Once a person has faith, he has achieved everything. There is nothing greater than faith. Let me read this portion again so that we just ponder over this a bit. So the devotee asks, Sir, is there no help then for such a worldly person? Master, certainly there is. From time to time he should live in the company of holy men, and from time to time go into solitude to meditate on God. Furthermore, he should practice discrimination and pray to God. Give me faith and devotion. Once a person has faith, he has achieved everything. There is nothing greater than faith. To Kedar, there is now Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa is having a conversation with his disciples and followers. So now he turns to another follower of his, to Kedar. Kedar seems to be another follower of his. You must have heard about the tremendous power of faith. It is said in the Purana that Rama, who was God himself, the embodiment of Absolute Brahman, had to build a bridge to cross the sea to Ceylon. But Hanuman, trusting in Rama's name, cleared the sea in one jump and reached the other side. He had no need of a bridge. Once a man was about to cross the sea. Vibhishana, that is Ravana's younger brother, Vibhishana and a devotee of Lord Sri Rama. Vibhishan wrote Rama's name on a leaf, tied it in a corner of the man's wearing cloth, and said to him, in olden days, people used to tie a kind of knot, in a corner of their wearing cloth, and so he's talking about that habit. That even now you will have noticed some people do that. They'll tie something in their kind of a piece of cloth that they carry with themselves, and that's something that's found even nowadays. Once a man was about to cross the sea. Bibhishan wrote Rama's name on a leaf, tied it in a corner of the man's wearing cloth, and said to him, "Don't be afraid, have faith, and walk on the water. But look here, the moment you lose faith, you will be drowned." The man was walking easily on the water. Suddenly, he had an intense desire to see what was tied in his cloth. He opened it and found only a leaf with the name of Rama written on it. So look at the attitude of the person, because now the words reflect his attitude only. Just the name of the Lord. He opened it and found only a leaf with the name of Rama written on it. What is this, he thought? Just the name of Ram? As soon as doubt entered his mind, he sank under the water. If a man has faith in God, then even if he has committed the most heinous sins, such as killing a cow, a Brahmin, or a woman, he will certainly be saved through his faith. Let him only say to God, "O Lord, I will not repeat such an action," and he need not be afraid of anything. "O Lord, I will not repeat such an action," and he need not be afraid of anything. When he had said this, the master sang, "If only I can pass away repeating Durga's name, how canst thou then, O Blessed One, withhold from me deliverance? Wretched though I may be, I may have stolen a drink of wine, or killed a child unborn, or slain a woman or a cow, or even caused a Brahmin's death. But though it all be true, nothing of this can make me feel the least uneasiness, for through the power of thy sweet name my wretched soul may still aspire even to Brahmanhood." So this is the message for today, and so let's just unpack, and try to interpret this for modern times, and how we can apply these principles to our lives and lead a better life. So the essential thing is that we need to have faith. A faith in God, really. But you can interpret it this way as well, that is, you also need to have faith in yourself, belief. If you read the book of one of the books of Norman Vincent Peale, it's titled The Power of Positive Thinking. The first chapter is titled Believe in Yourself. So this segment is is about belief, but it's specific. It's belief in God. So let's look at what's the power of faith according to Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans. So the first question that the devotee asks, in fact he just asks one question, then Sri Ramakrishna tries to explain that from different angles and using different examples. So he asks if there is any help for a worldly person. So Sri Ramakrishna Paramhans tells the devotee, says to the devotee, from time to time he should live in the company of holy men, and from time to time go into solitude to meditate on God. So live in the company of holy men. Nowadays, if you find it difficult to really identify who's holy, who's not holy, a better recourse or a better option is to read the autobiographies or biographies of saints. Saints have existed in all religions. So you read their lives. If they have written an autobiography, read their autobiographies. If they have written biographies, read their, if biographies have been written about them, read their biographies. But try to know more about saints. For example, I have quite a few biographies of saints. So for example, the saints of Maharashtra, Namadev, Gyaneshwar, Samarth Ramdas. So I have the lives of those saints. There's also many other books which I'm unable to recall at the moment, but I do have quite a few biographies of saints. So that is the thing you can do in order to live in the company of holy men and women, and from time to time go into solitude to meditate on God. With the rush and busyness of modern life, sometimes it's difficult to remember the most important things that we need to do in our lives. And the most important thing that we can do is to kind of remember God or to focus on Him. And especially in solitude, it's very important because a portion of the day we should dedicate to meditation or just focusing on God or just remembering God or just chanting the name of the Lord, so that we can extricate ourselves from the busy portions of the day and just kind of allocate some portion of our time every day for solitary meditation on God. And furthermore, he should practice discrimination and pray to God, give me faith and devotion. Discrimination is the term, is the translation for the term vivek that comes often in Hindi books and Sanskrit books and even Bengali books. So vivek, even in Tamil books, vivekam. So vivek means the ability to discriminate between or differentiate between what's permanent and what's impermanent, especially that. Plus also what's immoral, what's moral, what's correct, what's incorrect, and so on. But the essential meaning of discrimination in this context is the ability to differentiate what's permanent from what's impermanent, what's transitory. That is, it's just for some time. So that should be there, the ability to discriminate. And then we also need to pray to God that He should give us faith and devotion. So if we have less faith and less devotion, that's fine, because faith and devotion grow. So if you pray to God, ask Him to give you more faith and ask Him to give you more devotion, He will give it to you. That's there in almost all religions. You'll see that, there have been many people with weak faith, and they've asked for more faith, and they've got it. For example, in the Quran, there is a verse that says, "O Lord, increase my knowledge." So when you lack knowledge, ask God for it. In the Bible, there is a prayer, there is a kind of suggestion mentioned in the book of James, where James says this: if any of you lacks wisdom, just ask God, and God will give it to you without upbraiding, and He'll give you wisdom, give you knowledge. But then he says the condition is that we should ask with total faith. There shouldn't be any wavering. There shouldn't be any doubt in our minds. So when you have that kind of faith that when you ask God something, He'll give it to you, then you'll get it. But it's not always material things we should ask for. We should ask for an increase in our faith, an increase in our devotion, an increase in our wisdom, and so on. So God will definitely give it to you if you have faith in Him. And if you don't have faith, ask Him to give you faith. But again, don't doubt. Without doubting, just ask God to give you faith, and God will give it to you. And then there's this tremendous story of this faith in Lord Rama. So Hanumanji was able to cross the ocean by chanting the name of Ram, but Ram had to build a bridge. So what the story is trying to emphasize is the fact that if you have faith, you get tremendous power. And the other thing is the story about a man who was given this name of Ram written on a leaf, and then he had tied it, in a knot, in a corner, tied it in a corner of that man's wearing cloth. And then Bibhishana told him, "Don't be afraid, have faith and walk on the water." So this fellow was walking on the water easily, but then he had this curiosity to just open that knot and just see what it contains. So he opened it, he saw a leaf, and then he opened the leaf and he saw the name of Ram, and he questioned it, and he was kind of doubtful, and he said to himself, is that it? I mean, is it just the name of Ram? And as soon as doubt arose in his heart, he sank, he drowned. And he died. So this story, a similar story appears in the Bible as well, when I think Jesus calls one of his disciples from the shore. The disciples were in the boat, I guess, or I don't remember whether the disciples were in the boat or Jesus was in the boat, but it was something like that. So one of the disciples saw that Jesus was, walking on water, I think. So Jesus called the disciple as well. And so the disciple started walking on the water as well. Now, while he was in the middle of the river or the sea, wind started blowing, I think, and then doubt emerged in his heart, and he started sinking or drowning. So that's when Jesus kind of scolded him and reprimanded him and asked him why he had so little faith. So faith is very important. It has been mentioned in the Quran as well. That is, we need to have faith in the unseen. And there are chapters and chapters about faith in all these great scriptures. So you need to have faith in God, and especially faith in His name. Now the last part of it is very interesting, and it says, if a man has faith in God, then even if he has committed the most heinous sins, he will certainly be saved through his faith. Let him only say to God, "O Lord, I will not repeat such an action," and he need not be afraid of anything. This is very important. The feeling of guilt is very crushing. It crushes the human spirit. So we have done something wrong in the past. Now we cannot undo it. We can regret it. We can apologize to God. We can try to help the person whom we have affected through our bad actions, but it's not always possible. So you just pray to God and tell Him that you will not repeat that action, and then just believe that because you have taken the name of the Lord, your sins have been washed away. That is the power of faith, and that is why the Protestant revolution in the West was so great, because Martin Luther, I think when he was reading, was it the book of Galatians or the book of Romans, he came across this passage where it said, "For man is justified by faith and not through works," or something similar, similar words. So Abraham was justified because of his faith and not because of his actions. That is, God considered Abraham pure because he had faith. Now this same thing has been used in Hindu scriptures as well about the power of faith. So for example, you have this story of Ajamil, a bad man who had committed a lot of sins in his life, and then what happens is he was about to die, and then he had a son, and his name was Narayan. Narayan is the name of Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. So he was about to die, and these messengers of the Lord of Death were coming to take his soul away. And then he just, because he was so fond of his younger son who was named Narayan, so he started calling out his name, Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. And the messengers of death were stopped by the messengers of Lord Vishnu, because they said, "You cannot take the life of our great devotee, because he has taken the name of the Lord, he has become free of sin." So the story goes on after that. But the thing is, even if you committed the most heinous sins, you need not feel guilty. Guilt is a deadly a deadly kind of way of thinking. So in order to free yourself from guilt, you take the name of the Lord, believe that He can redeem you of all sins, of all negativity, of all burdens of the past, and totally believe in His name, and He'll definitely free you from all guilt and condemnation. So with that, let me just quickly repeat this discussion that we had. I mean, just repeat the main parts of this discussion. So if you want to increase your faith, just pray to God, ask Him to increase your faith. Read the lives of holy men and women. I mean, their biographies, their biographies or autobiographies. Spend some time in solitude, just you and God, that's it, nothing else. You just remember Him, chant His name, remember His form, or just spend some quiet hours with the Lord every day. And then just remember the story of how Hanuman was able to cross the ocean through the power of the name of the Lord. And remember the story of this guy who was given this name of Lord Rama on a leaf, and how he was happily crossing the ocean, but when doubt arose, when doubt arose in the heart of that person, he started drowning and died. So faith is extremely important. And the last part is the most important part of this discussion, so let me just repeat it verbatim. Is it verbatim? Verbatim. So let me check the pronunciation so that we don't give you the wrong, so that I don't give you the wrong pronunciation of this word. Verbatim, is it? Verbatim.
Verbatim.
So it's verbatim. So it's verbatim in a sense, using exactly the same words. So I'm going to quote this verbatim. If a man has faith in God, then even if he has committed the most heinous sins, he will certainly be saved through his faith. Let him only say to God, "O Lord, I will not repeat such an action," and he need not be afraid of anything. Thanks for watching this video.